I'm Lorie from Dee's, and today I'm going to share some helpful hints with you so that you can create a derby hat. When choosing a hat, don't disregard your favorite hat just because it's a little big. There's always sizing that you can put in to make that hat fit better. Sizing comes in several colors: white, black, gray, beige. When I start out, I always like to take a few snips of my sizing and start out with just a little. This has a little bit of adhesive to it. We're going to put it up inside of our hat, and I like to start in the back. We're going to raise up the liner and put our piece of sizing in the hat. So depending upon how large the hat is, if you still have a little movement, you can add a few more pieces to the inside on the sides. Try it on, check it out, make sure it fits. Once you have that perfect fit, I suggest going back with a little bit of glue from your glue gun, run a line of glue, and put your sizing right back in to make your hat fit better for you. When making your hat, the first step is to choose good products. I always like to put a band around my hat to give that finished look. So when we start out with the band, make sure you choose a good ribbon. This is a grosgrain ribbon, which lots of people like the look of. Unfortunately, grosgrain ribbon is not wired. So if you try to use grosgrain ribbon as your band, you end up with this problem. There's going to be a little buckling of your band. We want it to lay nice and flush against the brim of the hat. So let's change and go to a wired ribbon. The wired ribbons are nice because you can pull them nice and taut, and if you still have a little buckling, you simply just pull the wire slightly for just a little bit of gathering, and that helps to keep your band flush. Netting is one of my all-time favorites for hats, and there's lots of choices and colors. Most of your nettings are going to come in a plain, or they will come with what I call the bump. This one is my particular favorite. These are a nice addition to any hat because it adds a little more fullness and softness. This is a new one for us this year that has a much smaller weave. And this is another great. This is a larger hole beehive. These are a nice addition to your hat. When using it, I always like to just work in sections. You can just fold it, gather, and create your loops. To wire my pieces together, I like to use cloth-covered wire. Cloth-covered wire is light, very easy to work with. You can cut it with scissors, and you just twist it just like a bread tie. Because your netting is so open weave, this makes it an easy place for you to place your glue to attach it to your hat. Whoops! And there you have it. The next element I want to show you is crinoline. Crinoline also is available in lots of colors, and there's many different ways you can use it. Now, this is just a warning. Sometimes it tends to have a mind of its own, so just kind of let it do its thing. The crinoline, I'm not sure if you can see, but there's a little thread on one edge of the crinoline. That is a gathering string. So first, I'm going to show you how to create a ruffle. You want to take hold of the string on one end of your crinoline and grab the string on your other so that when you're gathering and pulling, you don't remove your string. We're simply going to scoot our crinoline along the string and gather it up. Once you have your crinoline gathered, you can take the string to bind off your unfinished ends. I simply gather my end together, take my string, and wrap it to bind off my end. Take the other end, take your string, gather, wrap your string around that end to bind off. Now we've created a crinoline ruffle. This also helps when gluing because you can place your glue on your bound ends to attach it to your hat. And this adds a dramatic effect to any creation. Next, you can create loops, whether you want to use wide loops or folded loops. I always like to pull the string out so that I don't have that in my loops that are showing on my hat. Remove your string. You can take your loops and fold them this way and have the wide loops that you'll use on your hat, or you can also fold them in half and create beautiful loops that way. Once again, gather them off, wire them with your cloth covered wire, and that gives you a place to glue and attach to your hat. Crinoline can also be very beautiful if you distress it. This is the fun part. You just simply take your thumb and push it through the crinoline to mess it up. This makes a nice textured look to add into your creation. See how fun? Now, if you're really good, you can sew some fold-over elastic to the edge of this crinoline and make a beautiful, unique design. Another great product that we have available in lots of colors is called tearaway. This is actually hat material. What is nice about it is you can use it in any thickness. The reason we call it tearaway is if you want it smaller, you simply tear the strips away from each other. You will have a leftover string and thread in your piece. You simply remove your string and that gives you a nice clean stripping. It's a nice way to add color to the edge. We've added the blue to this hat and we added some coral loops. Next, my favorite part of decorating a hat, the feathers. We have lots of feathers, colors, and styles to choose from. I'm going to share a few with you today. This particular feather is a pheasant feather. They come in lots of colors. Now, you can leave it straight, just like this on your hat, but you can also give it a little more excitement. You simply run your fingers and thumb up the spine and break the feather spine. And that will give your feather an angle. Another fun thing to do is, believe it or not, curling irons are not just for hair. So we're going to take this feather, put it in our curling iron, wrap it around, let it set for a few seconds, and voila, we have a curled feather. So those are our pheasant feathers. Next, I'd like to show you these. These are also available in lots of colors. These are called biots, B-I-O-T-S, biots. These are a fun addition and give a wispy look to any embellishment you'd like to put. You can put them all on in one bunch. You could separate them. Also, you could take the feathers, and if you go along and pull them back the opposite way, be careful not to get feather splinters, you can open it up so it's a little more wispy. Peacock feathers are all the rage. There's lots available. These are the peacocks with the eyes. This is straight, and we want to add a little curve to it. So simply, once again, take your fingers, run it up the spine, and let it curve the direction you need it. The peacock swords are also great. They come in lots of colors too. We can do the same thing. Simply take your fingers, run them up the spine, and let them curve the way you want them. Also, let's not forget, lay your peacock feather sword in your curling iron, roll it up, And when you pull it out, look how cute. Next, I'd like to share with you the Coke feathers. Coke feathers are available like this in many colors, but these are also Coke feathers. These are the same feathers. This is just a stripped feather. This one's non-stripped. I always like to tell people, if you're at home and you have these and you need some of these, simply take your feather, drop down a fingertip from the top, and strip down its spine. By doing this, you can create that wispy Coke feather that looks like these. We also have horsehair that's fun and gives a lot of movement. We have rhinestones, jewels, all sorts of things that you can add as an embellishment to your hat. Now, let's get ready to design our hat. What I like to do in designing my hat is to decide where I want the placement of my embellishments. This is front and center of my hat right here. Most popular is offset in the front, but you can put it anywhere you want. I'm going to mark my area with a piece of masking tape, just so I know that my embellishments need to go in this general area. When making your hat, what you want to do is try to concentrate all of your attachments into one area. When attaching my band, I would put my glue on here, attach it to where I'm going to put my flowers and everything, wrap it around, and come back and meet here and glue it in place. So once we've glued our band into place, then we just have a spot of glue here. We can add some loops of netting or crinoline. Once again, place your glue where the wire is and attach it to your hat in the same spot you attached before. Be sure to put your loops at angles just to give some more interest and some sloping look to the hat. This is nice if you keep everything in this one place, because maybe this is the only hat that you found that fits you well, and next year, if you take a hairdryer, you can heat it, and the elements will remove with just a little bit of glue in one place. Thanks for joining us today. If you're looking for some inspiration, don't forget to visit our hat gallery at deescrafts.com/hats, where we have lots of beautiful custom design hats. If you're in the Louisville area, be sure to stop by. Any of our creative consultants at Dees will be happy to help you with creating your own special hat. Thanks. See you soon.